Hi, welcome to Yellow Slate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters.
Today we have with us Miss Jasmine, who works as a school counselor at New Horizon Gurukul, which is located in Bangalore. To get to know more details about the school and her experience so far, let's have a conversation with her. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
To begin with, what inspired you to become a school counselor and how does your role support students while aligning with the values of New Horizon?
Well, there's a small story behind it. Long back when I was doing my master's, while I decided that I would be mastering in clinical psychology, I realized that we all need to have a niche, right? Specialization. So by the time I was finishing my master's, I realized that, of course, through internship, I realized that, I connect very well with this age group. And it felt nice. What I realized that right kind of guidance, if given to them at this age, can help them through a very long process, right? They get right kind of perspective, what they need to do, how they need to approach their problems, what is the outlook they need to have, whether positive or negative, how they can sail through their problems. Giving them the right guidance really helps. So, in fact, my personal experience when I was in college or even in high school, I had counselors, right? So that inspired me a lot, the kind of guidance they provided me when I needed them. And so I thought, why not let me do a bit for the younger generation, right? So that was my inspiration. And how my work aligns with New Horizon Gurukul again goes back to my roots. I have been Horizonite. I have studied in their school. And yes, and I feel so proud being in the same organization as a school counselor. And the motto of the school, the vision and the motto of the school focuses on holistic perspective or holistic development of a child, right? So holistic means physical, mental, and spiritual aspect, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it's 100% alignment of my profession and the school, I would say.
That's great. To get into our next question, how do you address the emotional and psychological needs of students?
When we talk about emotional and psychological aspect, we conduct a lot of awareness programs. We provide regular consultations. We provide awareness to teachers. We provide awareness to parents and the students. For example, when we have to talk about teachers, we have regular workshops for them. We have parent workshops, and with kids, we go to their classes. We have class counseling. We have awareness program that tells that we have counselors in school and how they can reach out to us, right? So that awareness or the information or right kind of approach towards the things, teachers are sensitized, parents are taught how to approach these issues, right? So this is how we address openly. In fact, we are very open to concerns and we deal it with a lot of sense.
Got it now. So, as you were talking about a few of the key points, can you share a success
Mhm.
story of helping a student overcome a challenge?
There are many, but I will take a few which were really challenging for me. One being grief, trauma, and grief process where a student had lost a parent. And while she thought she overcame that after a few months, she did not realize that there are different aspects to it. So while one session at a time, we had regular one-on-one sessions with them, addressing and acknowledging the emotional concerns, what kind of the depth of trauma that the child is going through, what the child has seen versus what the child has experienced, helping her through the process. If I would say in the, over a period of 1 year, I would say there has been a beautiful growth from being an underconfident child to being a confident child who says, ma'am, I do have friends and I look forward to going to, graduation school. And I know it's going to be a challenge to make new friends, but I'm still looking forward to it. So that's quite a good journey and a success story. Another I would like to project was a child dealing with food issues, or how do we say eating disorders. Now, because of study tension, the child started ignoring the nutrition value and to a level that she googled and she kind of understood that you need to take only certain calories, and she started calorie counting. That became a habit which led her to become calorie conscious, and wouldn't meet the requirements, nutrition requirements, which was hampering her studies, her memory retention, her emotional regulation. So again, one-on-one sessions, right kind of guidance, worksheets are there, quite a lot of self-help worksheets that we tailor make for students with different kind of issues that would really help them. And by the time she graduated her grade 12, she was very good, and her parents also were very happy about the fact, because that was, as much as it was concerning for the school, it was concerning for the parents as well. So we all do it hand in hand, where parents are also involved, everyone is involved in making sure that the child is doing right. And we also have somatoform issues. A lot of kids, either when they are intellectually high or they're intellectually low. These are the two major cases where children try to avoid being in the class or attending any specific class. Say, for example, we have kids, or I had a case where, he would avoid light periods. Okay. So why? Because maybe there was nothing interesting to do. So we had to create that interest. Unless and until there is a mental gym happening, it's not interesting for him, right? So he would come down complaining, "Oh, I have stomach pain." So then slowly, with time, in fact, it took us quite some time with this child, and we see that now that he's in the higher grade, he's doing much better. So time and then when we meet him, he says, "I'm doing really great." So these are three, highlighted success story, I would say.
That's great to know, ma'am. I'm sure this wouldn't have been possible without the help of school, definitely. So if you can talk about how does the school facilitate your collaboration with the parents to provide the best support for the students?
I would say I am quite happy, because here our department is very looked up to, because the kind of help that we counselors and special educators provide to the teachers and to the parents, they really appreciate our work, right? And they do not try to stop us from experimenting, or from us, they don't stop us from learning and putting things into action, if I would have to put it in right words, right? So I'll explain a concept that talks about a correlation between counselors, special educators, teachers, right? In terms of parents, they are informed and involved. So what happens here is, teachers observe the children in the class and they inform us, they refer them to us, we conduct the screening test, and simultaneously, while the child is sent to the resource center or the learning center, the parent is informed that these are the observations that we have noted. Based on this, we are sending the child to the learning center. They'll be doing the basic screening, and they will let you know if the child has any learning difficulties or learning challenges, right? We cannot diagnose them into a disorder, because that is not allowed. That only a clinical setup can do it, right? So now, when it comes to teachers, we guide them, we give them good information about how neurodivergence is, difference between a neurodivergent child and a neurotypical child, right? When I say neurodivergent, it majorly focuses on autism and ADHD aspects, right? So teachers observe the behavioral pattern, teachers observe the students' reading and writing patterns, they observe their grades through periodic tests, and then they refer them to us saying, "Ma'am, we are seeing these challenges." Now, when it comes to us, our department, we take in the child, we conduct screening tests, we give them worksheets, and then understand if the child needs basic guidance or the child needs assessment. Based on that, we refer them to certain platforms that will conduct educational and psychological assessment for the child, which in turn helps us to provide them the right kind of help.
That's a very well planned process, ma'am, to be honest. So, can you also talk about the initiatives the school have to promote mental health and well being?
Yes, to begin with, we always have daily affirmations that are narrated or that are told in the assembly, so that it sets the tone for the day. They say that as soon as you wake up in the morning, say three statements that are positive. So here we have the whole affirmations into for students, for mental health, and for positive outlook. right? So each and every class has a affirmation paper on their soft board, so that whenever they feel demotivated or whenever they want to read something nice, they just go up to the board and say, for example, there's a board behind me, so I have a lot of worksheets or affirmation statements here. So
Oh,
whenever they come in, they read that, and that's how they get some basic help. So that is one. We also have awareness like cyber vigilance, drug abuse, emotion management, stress management for children. All of these are conducted. For teachers, we also conduct term by term. We conduct recreation session for them where we play small games or relaxing mindfulness games so that they can practice it before going to class or whenever they are stressed. So these are certain initiatives we have taken. And also saying we conduct regular activities for parents as well.
got it, ma'am. Can you talk about the strategies you use to guide students, especially in terms of making the future career decisions?
Yes, so in our school, we regularly, every year, we conduct assessment, aptitude assessment for grade 10 and grade 12. So, grade 12, since they are already aware of what stream and what career path they want to take, we give them aptitude tests based on their interest area, right? Now, when it comes to grade 10, we conduct a proper aptitude assessment that helps us understand what stream, what kind of subjects based on their aptitude would be helpful for them, right? For what kind of streams they can take. So if they say science, there are certain aptitude criteria that we consider in science. Say, for example, abstract reasoning, etc., abstract reasoning, spatial abilities, mechanical and numerical aptitude. So these are specifically looked into science stream. Now we have similar aptitude criteria that are looked into commerce and humanity, right? So based on their aptitude, based on their interest, once they take the test, their reports are generated and we discuss it with the parents. So once the tests are done, we have dedicated days where each student's parents come down to us. We sit, we have a conversation about what would be the right career option. At least, if not the career option, at least the subjects that they can take in their 11th and 12th, which could give them a broader perspective for graduation.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining and sharing some of the great insights. Thank you.
So much for giving me the opportunity.